Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are really well. Today I wanted to talk you through my current holy grails. I don't know if you're aware, and I don't wish to alarm you, but we are halfway through the year. I know. I was just about to film my June favourites and I thought, hang on, June? Oh my goodness, we're halfway through. And it just made me start thinking about, all the products that I'm using at the moment. I feel like I found so many all-time holy grails this year especially that I'm almost like hardly using any of my older products anymore. So it just got me thinking and I thought, forget June favourites, let's do so far this year favourites. So this is going to be a full face try on of my current go-to holy grail, who is Gail? All-time holy grail products in each category, why I love them, showing you how they work, all of that good stuff. I have had an alarming number of subscribers over the last couple of weeks because one of my videos has been really popular. I will link it up here if you haven't seen it. So just want to remind anyone who is new here, my name is Charlotte. So happy to have you with me. Can't tell you, can't wait to chat to you in the comments down below. I am a normal human being. I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not a beauty guru. I'm just a makeup fan, makeup lover. I love makeup. I love talking about makeup, doing makeup, telling people about my favorite makeup and makeup that didn't work for me. And likewise, learning from you guys. I can't tell you how many of my favorite products I've loved have been because of recommendations from my subscribers or people who viewed my videos. So it's absolutely a two-way street. So please join in our chat and our family and our love, but lower your expectations a little, because if you want a professional makeup artist that everything is going to be perfect, you've almost definitely come to the wrong place. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on to my makeup holy grails. So before we get started, I need to warn you that I've started doing my eyebrows in a really weird order that I know is going to freak people out. I used to always do them first and then you can carve them out and everything like that. But then I just found, because I don't have any hair like here where there should be hair, I always do brow strokes, on my skin. And I feel like, when you then go in with concealer or, around here when you're putting your foundation on or when you're using bronzer and you're a bit haphazard like I am, I just end up smudging it, or, I feel like my hair strokes get smudged away, or just, yeah, they get messed with during the rest of the process. So I've started doing them basically almost last. That's just what I like to do. Try not to panic. So eyeshadows. This is my Dior Backstage Cool Neutrals palette. If you saw my review on this palette, you will know how obsessed I've been. I'm going to use the primer in the palette, which is this up here, to prime my lids. I love everything about this palette. As soon as I saw the palette, I knew it was going to be a new fave because it is just all my kind of tones. I love neutral eyeshadows. I love purples and lilacs and all those lovely tones. They are right up my street. So it's a really nice size as well. It just fits in the palm of your hand and is just, yeah. I did in my review quite a sort of, glam look. So today I'm going to just do kind of use it in the way that I do every day, just to give you something different, something a little bit different to what you've already seen me do. So I'm going to use my Sigma E40 and I'm going to use this bottom middle shade, and this is basically what I do every day. So I'm just literally blending that shade above my crease just to give a little bit of shape and definition to my eye. And this palette, I love it so much. You don't need to swirl. In fact, if you do swirl, you'll get a lot of kick up. You just need to touch your brush in, just like with ABH shadows, exactly the same as that, really light-handed. And a little goes a long way. So honestly, lots of days I will just leave it like this. I just literally blend a bit of that lightest shade into my crease and we are good to go. But today I'm just going to try a few more of the shades from the palette, just to, because we've got time today. So next I'm going to use this top matte shade up here, same brush and just a really light hand, and I'm just going to deepen up the crease ever so slightly. Not, like I said, this is still very much like a daytime, everyday, school run look. I'm just going to use a tiny bit of this bottom shade down here. It's like the, maybe not the darkest, but it's kind of the darkest matte shade, because the other dark shade, which is this one in the middle, is like a sort of got a bit of a shimmer to it. And then I'm going to use this middle shade here. It's called a shimmer, I think, that one, yeah, but to me it's more satin. It's not like glittery, it is more sort of a glowy finish to it. And I really like this on the lid. It's just perfect every day. Low key, you know, easily could wear this to work, this shade. And it's also a nice brow bone highlight as well. So there you go, this is kind of how I use this palette for like most days, like every day, kind of quick, easy, you know, no fuss, not too much for most of the, you know, days that I spend at kids' play areas or taking them to school or not leaving the house. You know, this is enough to not leave the house. Yeah, love this palette. I feel like you can create enough looks out of it to make it value for money. It's really good for travel. I love the packaging. Lots of people think it's really tacky and cheap, but I really like it. What does that say about me? Next up, my mascara. So this is a Lancome's Monsieur Big. It has been my ride or die. It has been my holy grail for as long as I can remember. Not as long, not that long. Maybe 6 months. It is my favorite. Others have come and gone, but nothing has managed to replace this for like more than a few days until I get a new one. I love it so much. I feel like, so that's like one coat. I usually do 2. I just love everything about it. It just gives you so much volume. I feel like it really lifts the lashes. It's very black and it lasts such a long time. Wear after wear, it's still as good as the first time you used it. Now, the Fenty primer has been my ride or die since I picked it up, which was pretty quickly after it came out, and I love this. This is my all-time favorite primer. It's all gone. Because I don't currently have the free funds to pick up a new one right now, I've been using my Guerlain L'or and I have been really enjoying it. I've really been liking it. I don't think personally it is worth the money. I don't see, you know, enough of a difference between this and like the Fenty, which is what, like half the price or something. Yeah, it's a good primer. I like it. It smells heavenly. It's very luxurious with all the gold inside it. So yeah, and I do think it is a good primer. Don't get me wrong. It is my current favorite because my Fenty has run out. However, if you are looking for a primer, I would definitely recommend the Fenty over this one, purely just because it is so much cheaper, and I don't personally see enough of a difference between this one and that one to justify the cost. Here's where it's going to get quite tough, because you guys know Lancome Teint Idole is been my holy grail for months and months. Ever since I discovered it, I've been obsessed with it. I've worn it every day. I've loved it. It's just everything. Beautiful finish, wears incredibly well, doesn't transfer, photographs well, looks beautiful on the skin, great shades, etc, etc. And then this bad boy came along. So this is the Dior Backstage foundation, and honestly, I've struggled to pick up anything else. So I think I'm going to use this one today, because I would say this is, I'm not ready to say it's my all-time holy grail over this bad boy. I'm not ready to say that, okay? I'm not ready. But this is the one that I'm currently reaching for, and if I continue using this one as much as I am now, and I don't have any problems, nothing weird starts to happen, I don't start to go off it for any reason or discover any problems with it, then I think this might overtake Teint Idole. The only thing I will say about this foundation is that when I reviewed it, it looked on camera crazy orange. I don't know what else to tell you other than it does not look like that in real life. I showed some natural daylight pictures during the review to prove this. And if you look on my Instagram, I have lots of photos wearing this foundation. It doesn't look orange. It's a really good shade match for me. So I'm hoping today that isn't going to happen again, but just know if it does start to look orange, don't panic, don't panic. Try to like just keep yourself calm, because in real life, honestly, it's fine. Obviously, if you look at my face versus my body, my face is a lot paler because I try to keep my face as much out the sun as possible. So that's why I'm using a much darker foundation than my face, because I want to match my body. Hopefully, I mean, it's hard to tell. I'm looking in the monitor and it doesn't look orange in the monitor. It doesn't look orange in the mirror. It looks perfect. You know what? It doesn't matter what you say. I posted a comment and pinned it at the top of my comments feed when I reviewed this foundation, saying, look, I know I can see it looks orange on camera, just so you know, it didn't look like that in real life. I'm having to take this down my neck because my neck is as pale as my face, just FYI. But people still were like, oh my God, it's so orange. And I was like, guys, I've told you it's not. It doesn't look like that in real life, but you know, people don't trust you. They cannot believe you when you say these things. People love telling me I've used too dark a foundation. And sometimes maybe they're right, but a lot of the time it looks really good in person and in real life, and obviously it just doesn't look the same on camera for whatever reason. I try to keep my light really low so that you see a bit closer what I see, but I have to have the light on, otherwise you wouldn't be able to see me. It's hard. I've been playing around with my camera settings as well. I've been watching lots of videos trying to learn more and more about my camera settings. By the way, what I'm doing now, it looks weird, I'm just sort of stippling on a bit of extra foundation where I need a bit more coverage, because this foundation is like a light to medium coverage with the amount that I've just applied, which is what I like. But I have hyperpigmentation in my forehead and I have redness on my cheeks, and I'm just sort of wanting to stipple a bit more in those areas to cover that up. Okay, so here is another weird order that I do things in. So next I'm going to do my cream contour. Again, people are going to freak out. You haven't done your concealer, what are you doing? But if I'm doing cream contour, I just like to do it before my concealer, so I can set my concealer with powder as soon as I've applied it, and I don't have to worry about where the powder's going and is it gonna, you know, funk up my cream contour. I don't know what's happening. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. This is the lighter shade. There's two shades. I'm using the fair medium just because I bought this in the winter. I feel like now I probably should be using the darker shade, but this still works fine for a really natural, soft, subtle contour. I really, really like it. It's so foolproof, really easy to use. I will just say, you might think it's not important to close it after you've used it, but it is, guys. So how I like to use this is I like to dot around where I contour. I only kind of contour under my cheekbones and around my forehead. I don't anymore do my jawline, because someone told me on one of my videos that I don't need to do that because I've got more of a sort of long slash oval face, that apparently you don't need to contour there, and I had just been blindly following, you know, a tutorial where they did that without thinking that I didn't have the exact same face shape that they did. So really thank you to that educated person who could tell me what I was doing, because I don't know what I'm doing. You know me, I am just winging it. I love this product. You'll see it just melts so easy into the skin. I usually use a brush for this because it is, you know, very subtle on my skin tone, especially right now that I'm more tan for summer. So I use a brush to keep a bit more of a heavier application. And I will say that when I first reviewed this, I did love it, but the one thing I was like, I'm not sure about was how long it was going to last me. And oh my God, it has lasted forever. I mean, I don't cream contour every day, but I do use this, you know, at least a couple times a week, most weeks I would say, and it's just like lasting forever. There's 12 mils in here, which is nearly half a foundation, so that is a lot of product. You get a lot for your money. The concealer, my Clinique Beyond Perfecting Concealer. I've stopped really trying other concealers. Every now and then, just for a change, I'll either use my Tarte Shape Tape, which I do like, it's just a little bit drying, or sometimes I use my Makeup Revolution concealer, which again I really like, but this is my absolute fave. I recently watched a Wayne Goss video. Wayne is one of my faves. Explaining in the beautiful way that Wayne always does explain everything, that you know, you don't want to apply things like concealer in the exact area where you want it, because when you come to blend, you know, it spreads out. That really resonated with me, because I was like, that is so true, because I always put like my concealer on and then I'll blend it and it's like, you know, ends up by my chin or something. So yeah, so although, I mean, it's just, again, it's stuff that we should know, but I don't, you know, I'm not a professional. I've never had lessons or anything like that. So it is the sort of thing that you might sort of know, but it's just helpful to hear someone and to have someone to show you, you know. I am very heavy-handed, so it's not the easiest for me to control myself. I just want to put on all the makeup all at once. Powder for me is a really easy one. I'm still obsessed with my MAC Patrick's powder, although it doesn't seem to be coming back. I have really been waiting and thinking this is gonna get re-released at some point and I'll buy 10 more because it's the best powder I've ever tried. But obviously it was limited edition and it sold out really quickly, so I was so glad I jumped on it. And now I'm torn because obviously at some point this is going to run out, so I am in the hunt for a new powder that is permanent. And I don't know, originally I was going to try the either the Cover FX or the Too Faced Ethereal. Then the Hourglass powder came out and I wanted to try that one instead. And now Huda's powder is about to come out. And I love Huda's products. Most of them I think are amazing. But yeah, I really now am torn as to which one to try next. So yeah, which one do you think? Which one do you think? Which one would you recommend, or do you think will be the best? So for bronzer at the moment, I've been loving the Too Faced Chocolate Gold Soleil bronzer. I've been obsessed with it. You have to use a light hand, which is not my forte. So what I do is I just try to keep it right up. Where did my voice go? So yeah, I just try to sort of keep it right up when I'm actually laying the product down towards my hairline, and then sort of blend it a little forwards once there's not much left on my brush. Bronzer and blush are my nemesis as far as like going too heavy-handed, placement, all that stuff is like, I rarely get it right, to be honest. It's always just, you know, too much, too far inwards, too far downwards. Just the whole face covered in bronzer and blusher, to be honest. But you know, I'm happy, so it's all fine. I really find with Too Faced bronzers, this one and the original Chocolate Soleil, is that I really like to put a lot on and have it be really strong, because once I use my setting powder, I just find that it sort of really softens it. And sometimes, you know, I'll have my bronzer like this, I'll spray my setting spray and it's gone, and I have no bronzer left and I don't understand what's happening. So yeah, I do like to apply quite a lot, because by the time I've finished and everything is settled in and I've done my setting spray, it looks then how I want it. I'm gonna bronze up my neck a little bit again to just add a little bit of warmth down there where the sun never goes. So now I'm gonna do my second coat of Lancome Monsieur Big, and then we're gonna go back and finish the eyes. I have been really trying to get better at remembering to tell you what brushes I'm using, but I do sometimes forget. So I will link below my brushes video where I talk about all my favorite brushes and why they're so good, etc. If I've missed one out, it will be in that video down below. You can always shout at me in the comments and I will always tell you any brushes you want to know. So this, on that note, is the Zoeva Pencil Brush 230, and I'm going to go back into this bottom middle shade and just run a little bit of that under the lash line. This mascara, this is the Clinique High Impact Mascara, and I'm not really down for using a different mascara for your top lashes and your bottom lashes. It's an expensive, quite frankly, insane idea to me personally. But I got this one free when I bought like a few items like skincare from Clinique, and they did like a free gift. So I just tried this one out. and it is the best lower lash mascara. I don't like it for top lashes because it doesn't really, well, what I found is it does not lengthen lashes at all. It just gives volume, which is what I want on my bottom lashes. My bottom lashes are really long, so if I add length, they touch my skin, which is a bad time. But yeah, so this doesn't really add any length. It just adds volume and definition, and really is perfect for me for lower lashes. So I've really been loving it for that. But once it runs out, I'm really not about repurchasing 2 separate mascaras because that seems a bit much for me. And now I can finally do my brows. I know some of you will have been desperate for me to put some flipping brows on, women. So this is my Kat Von D signature brow pencil in the shade medium brown. I'm obsessed with this pencil. It's my favorite brow pencil I've ever tried. It's got a slanted shape, a little bit like the Anastasia brow definer or the Benefit Goof Proof, but what I love about it is when you turn it sideways, it is so thin. I find it amazing for doing like hair-like strokes, and it is a buildable formula. So again, someone like me who is really heavy-handed, it stops me applying like too much or going too heavy, because you do sort of need to build it up. It's not as sort of soft, it's a little bit of a sort of firmer, stiffer formula. So obviously that will be personal preference as to whether you prefer this over like the Anastasia or the Benefit, because it just really is down to how you use it, what your brows are like naturally. It's definitely the easiest I've managed to do like hair-like strokes before, that is for damn sure. So now for highlight, you know I have been obsessed with the ABH by Amrezy highlighter. Obviously it's limited edition, so yeah, I try not to throw those things in your face if you can't get it. But recently, more and more, I have been loving this Dior Backstage Glow face palette. I'm obsessed with it. The only shade I don't really like as much or use as much is this pink shade. I've used this as a bronzer. Both of these can be used on, well, I mean, they can all be used on the eye, but obviously these will be too deep for a lot of skin tones. So yeah, I'll show you how I use it. I have used this in my review as a bronzer and I really liked it, but maybe for like every day it might be too glowy for some people. This was definitely too glowy for me as a blush, but yeah, it can be used on the lid, and I have used it as an inner corner highlight as well, which is really pretty. What I especially love is this one here as like my sort of regular highlight. This is a Morphe M501, I remembered to tell you. So I love this one on the cheekbones and like above my brow, and I just find it can be really nice and subtle, or it can be quite blinding. But as you'd expect from Dior, it isn't like glittery really or shimmery. It is very wet looking, really pretty. Look at that. I love this shade on my kind of more tan skin tone. But I have also seen Mel, which is the Puffin's Wife's channel, Mel used this, and her skin tone is more like an NC20, and it looked stunning on her as well. So I feel like it's, you know, quite suitable for lots of skin tones. So what I do when I use this palette, I use this gold shade like on my cheekbones, Cupid's bow, chin, and above my brow. Then I like to use this sort of white, I guess is the only way to describe it, on a smaller brush. This is the 238 by Zoeva, and I love this in my inner corners. It is just like icy, wet, icy, such a pop in the inner corners. I love it. You can of course tone it down if that's a little much for you. And then I use a tiny bit under my brow bone. A beautiful light catching, wet looking glow there. I also really like using that white shade down the bridge of my nose, because that's another place where I like it to be a bit of a lighter sort of hit of the light. What I saw Mel do is then take this whiter shade and just hit the very top just of her cheekbone there, just for an extra little. Now for blush, you guys know I have been loving the MAC Mineralize blushes. This is the shade Naturally Flawless. So yeah, this is a sort of very neutral blush, a sort of little bit of peach about it, very inoffensive, very soft and subtle. I have this one, I also have Like Me, Love Me. I love them both. They are probably my two current favourite blushes, like just in general. This one is more neutral and softer. Like Me, Love Me is more coral. See on my skin tone, it's barely showing up. It's just a hint of something, which is perfect for me because I always go too heavy-handed with blush. So on days when I want to be, you know, just a soft little hint of something, this is perfect. I don't have to worry too much about it. This is my Dose of Colours powdered blush brush. The softest wash of something. If you like NARS's Madly, or if you like MAC's Warm Soul, you will like this. It's really along those lines. It's called matte, but to me it's more of like a satin finish or a natural finish. I don't find it really mattifying because, you know, I don't really like a matte anything. But yeah, I find this a really natural, soft finish, and it just gives you something, a bit of a glow, a bit of a sort of wash of colour to your cheeks, but without being intimidating. Like if you don't usually wear blush, I feel like this would be a good one to try. So for setting spray, I've been loving the I've been loving the MAC Fix Plus Pink Light. This is like the more soft, subtle one. There is a Gold Light, which is apparently a bit more glowy of a finish. It is really wet of a spray. It's not as sort of fine of a mist as the regular Fix Plus. Personally, that's what I think. I do get wetter, so I try to not put it on straight after mascara. Like either spray it before your mascara, especially the lower mascara, because it can transfer. I'm gonna hope for the best that that isn't gonna happen today, because clearly I don't take my own advice. Just show you the skin like close up with like, without the light confusing you. This is what it looks like. It's still drying, so you can still see sort of spots of it. They do go away as it dries down. It is just still a little bit wet, but you can just see everything just looks really luminous. That is, a lot of that is the foundation, because it is a lovely, luminous, radiant finish to it, but it's just kind of, just gives you an extra little bit of glow to the skin. Favourite lip combo at the moment is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat Pencil in the shade Pink Venus. I'm a bit confused because to me it's peach, not pink. Literally my favourite lipstick of all time for like everyday, more of a sort of toned down, not crazy lip. This is MAC's Shy Girl. It is a gorgeous peachy nude. I'm obsessed with it. On its own, on me, it can be a little bit too light, like too nude. I think on fairer skin tones, it'll be gorgeous. But with the Lip Cheat Pencil, it is just perfect every day. I love peaches, but like today, you can see I've got obviously, you know, a cooler toned, or like purpley or plum? Lavender, lilac-y type shades on my eyes. And I can still wear this lip with it because it's not too strong of a peach. It's a soft, subtle peach, like a nude with a hint of peach, so it's still, you can pull it off with lots of different eye and cheek looks. It doesn't have to be just worn with peaches. So there you have it. Those are all my current holy grails. Most of them, in fact, I think all of them are things that I have found or that have come out this year. They are just like my go-tos. I'm gonna be really interested to see how many of these make it to like the 2018 favorites video. How many will fall by the wayside, be replaced or forgotten about. It'll be really interesting to see. Hopefully they're not gonna be exactly the same, or I may as well just not upload that video, I guess. Or maybe I could just re-upload this one to save myself a job. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe before you go so I can see you again. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye, 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 bye.